Today I wanted to discuss how to manage your negative emotions. Now obviously we're talking about negative emotions because who wants to manage positive emotions? Who wants to manage joy and happiness? We just want to let those soak over us and give us that bit of joy. But negative emotions can cause issues for us. Our lizard brain kicks in and we respond in a way that possibly isn't helpful to us at all. There was a time in society where it seemed we were greatly encouraged to let our emotions run amok, to express them whenever anybody hurt or upset us. How did that work out for everybody? Because I'm guessing not very well. Because when we respond negatively to certain things, we're not always thinking rationally or fairly, and we can cause more damage. On the other side, it isn't good to suppress those emotions all of the time either. You know, it's a pressure cooker situation, isn't it? And when you blow, you are going to blow. So something in between is generally required. But today we're going to work on managing those negative emotions, because you can control how you respond to certain situations. What if I said that you could do this? Would you believe me? What if I said it was possible to do so? You just actually have to commit to the process. And the first thing in the process that you have to do is to identify the trigger. Now that sounds really simple. You say, he said this happened, I got annoyed. But quite often what was said isn't the thing that upset you. So for example, if your other half has invited his mother round for dinner, that wouldn't normally in itself upset you, but it has on this occasion, and maybe that's because he didn't check in with you first. That might be the trigger. Then we need to identify the thought behind it. And the thought isn't that he invited his mother for dinner. That's the feeling that you've been left out of a decision-making process, that you haven't been consulted, that you are unimportant. And that might be the thought behind it, is that you are not worthy, that you are not valued by your other half. Once you've discovered what the thought is behind the way that you've reacted, then you need to find the evidence for and against that thought. So, does he normally consult with you? Does he value you in other ways? Does he do little things for you that make you feel important? Because if so, that's evidence against the thought that you are having. You can then frame what you're feeling in a more balanced way, and this really does help to take the emotion out of it. It helps to stop you from overreacting, and then you can have a conversation with your other half and explain what it really is that's bugging you about it. So it's the replacement then of a positive thought, a more positive balanced thought, with the negative thought. So how do we manage other negative emotions? I'm just going to concentrate on 3 today: frustration, worry and anger. Now frustration is something that we all come up against from time to time, and those of you who have teenagers that play online games probably see demonstrations of it far more often than you would like. But the problem with frustration is that it leads to anger. And anger is one of those emotions that, even though it's very helpful and positive in certain circumstances, very generally isn't. So you want to keep a check on frustration. And one of the things that you probably noticed as a theme, always identify the trigger. What is it that's creating this frustration? And then try to find a positive for the situation. So say you are stuck in a traffic jam and you are frustrated because you're going to be late for a meeting, etc., etc. What could you do positively instead? And it might be that you could ring somebody, Take the opportunity that you have that spare time to ring somebody, listen to an audio book. So it's just trying to find a positive for it that makes it a more productive situation. Then you need to think of a time when being frustrated actually worked in your favour. And I'm guessing you can't think of one. So therefore this will kind of prove to yourself that being frustrated is a complete and utter waste of time. Okay, so if we move to worry, I think the first thing that I would say is don't indulge in hanging around with other people who are also worrying. Again, just inflates the anxiety and perpetuates the worrying cycle. What you could do, so you can't stop thinking about these worrying thoughts, is write them down and schedule a time that you will deal with them. This just helps to take them out of your head because you can feel as though you are going to deal with them at a certain time. Relaxation exercises in terms of deep breathing will also help to calm you down, or distracting yourself with a walk outside and actually noticing what's going on around you, noticing nature. Anger. As I said before, anger can often be useful. It is a warning system to you that somebody has crossed your boundaries and it needs to be dealt with. But anger that is out of control is not something that you need, or anybody that's around you. Again, you know the signs. You know more than anyone else when you are going to start getting very, very angry. So nipping anger in the bud in the infancy stages is very important. Once you feel that you are going to get angry, then stop what you are doing. Do something else, something that distracts you. You want to interrupt those angry thoughts before they take hold, because once they've taken hold, it's very easy to stop yourself in the middle of an inappropriate rant to somebody. And so you need to change it quickly. Again, breathing exercises, just getting yourself away from the situation. One of the things I like to say to people is picture yourself in this angry state. What is it that you are doing? Have you gone bright red? Are your eyes popping out of your head? Is bits of spit coming out of your mouth whilst you're shouting at the person you're shouting at? Are you waving your arms? Look at yourself doing these things. Is this how you want to look? Is it attractive? And quite often this is a way of getting you to look at the situation from a different perspective and making you step back and de-escalating that emotion. Do remember that these tips and these exercises are for when you have occasional bouts of these negative emotions. If you suffer greatly with persistent anger, then it might be worth seeing a professional. I'm Audrey Marie, counsellor and coach. For more coaching exercises like these, please do subscribe and click the bell to get notifications. Keep safe.